Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the CD guy, Johnny Z here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Today, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the New Testament studio album, Bellum. First off, just some fast album facts. This is the 14th studio album by the thrash metal legends Testament, released today on October 10th, 2025 through Nuclear Blast Records, and it's the follow-up to Titans of Creation from 2020. Personnel here on this album, you have Chuck Billy on lead vocals, Alex Skolnick and Eric Peterson on guitars, Steve DiGiorgio on bass, and former Seven Spires drummer Chris Dovas behind the kit, replacing Gene Hoglan. Time for John's 5, my top 5 favorite songs from the new album. Coming in at number 1, I'm going to go with the first track here on the record, For the Love of Pain. I was completely caught off guard by this song. I was not expecting the band to kick off the record with what's probably their heaviest song, I would say, of the post-reunion era, and following the introductory drum roll by Chris Dovas, who makes his presence felt immediately on the record. Chuck Billy's harsh vocals kick in, and this is probably the harshest he sounds since, I would say, the Gathering era. And, you know, it's got some really slick riffs on here. A bit of a black metal influence, too, which is really cool. Was not expecting them to experiment with a bit of black metal on this track. Maybe something Eric Peterson brought back with him from Dragon Lord. But still, really cool stuff here. Love the band experimenting on this song. Definitely not playing it safe to kick off the record. So it's a scathing opener, in my opinion. Really enjoy it. Coming in number 1, gonna go with For the Love of Pain. Number 2, let's go with Infanticide AI. This was the lead single for the record. And this is the song, of course, I've had the most time with. And just keeps getting better with every listen. This track picks up right where For the Love of Pain left off, maybe a little thrashier, but let's say blackened thrash here, and, you know, it's a good mix of growls and cleans from Chuck Billy. So many great riffs on this whole album. I mean, Skolnick and Peterson are just absolutely in their bag here, and this is also a total showcase for Chris Dovas behind the kit. Keep in mind, Gene Hoglan left this to record whatever that Dark Angel record was, but this is a great lead single and a really commanding second track. Number 3, let's go with the title track, Bellum. This is the song that I think best encapsulates the entire album. Chuck Billy sounds menacing as ever here, and I give the band a lot of credit for throwing as much as they possibly could into this 6-minute track. It's an absolute monster. Big hooks, memorable guitar work, you have some elements of thrash, black, and traditional metal here, and I think some ideas work out better than others, but this track is a bruising way to close out the record, and just a total melting pot of different styles. Speaking of different, we slow things down in a major way on track number 4, Meant to Be, coming in at number 4 here on the list. This is your traditional Testament ballad, and this track really gives off Return to Serenity vibes. I think there's a nice change in pace that showcases the band's range. Clean vocals here from Chuck Billy, beautiful guitar work, you know, over an orchestral backdrop, and Testament always do great ballads. This is no different here. Really atmospheric song, and one that kind of, I'd say, exists in its own world on an otherwise thrashy, blistering record. And rounding out my top 5 here, let's go with Room 177. I feel like the middle of this record drags a bit. You know, the lyrics to High Noon are cheesy. Witch Hunt isn't all that memorable. The Nature of the Beast sounds uncharacteristically new wave of British heavy metal, but things pick up again with Room 177, built on, you know, a solid chugging riff and really commanding vocals. This sounds like something from the Low record, in my opinion, and I think there's a lot of genre hopping on side 1 of the album, but they really get into a more comfortable groove on side 2. All in all, I'm going to give this album an 8.5 out of 10. You know, Bellum is a fierce reminder that even, you know, 4 decades into their career, the Bay Area thrash legends are still putting out some of their best stuff. They're not content on nostalgia, and, you know, you have to follow the near flawless Titans of Creation, which I didn't know how they were going to follow it up. That record really felt like the culmination of everything the band had refined since their reunion, but Bellum somehow pushes things even further, branching into black and thrash territory and showcasing Chuck Billy's harshest, most aggressive vocal work in over a decade. And while not every track on here is a perfect 10, in my opinion, the album's highs far outweigh its lows, and the band's willingness to keep experimenting in the studio is, you know, admirable and effective here, and Testament proved that they're still evolving. They're not just coasting on the classic stuff here, and they're still hungry and producing some of their best work later in the game now. So I think it's really cool, and, you know, when you have a lot of these bands like Overkill, Exodus, Testament, Sodom put out a fantastic album, you know, doing some great work later in their careers, putting Dark Angel to shame. It's a great thing for the thrash metal scene. It's great to see that one of the pioneers of thrash are still doing some of their best work here. So, Bellum, another great installment in their catalog. Does feel like the next logical step after Titans of Creation to experiment a bit more, because I don't know how you could top Titans of Creation by just doing the same thing. But really excited here to keep listening to this record. Was very happy with it, and really enjoyed, you know, kind of the black metal influences here as well. So really dig it quite a bit. 8.5 I think is fair. Is it thrash album of the year? That kind of remains to be seen, but definitely a serious contender. So that wraps up this video here. Just wanted to share my thoughts real quick on the New Testament studio album, Bellum. Like I said, 8.5 out of 10. Really solid stuff. Dig the experimentation and all that. Great follow-up to Titans of Creation. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel down below. Turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss a new upload. And let me know your favorite tracks from Bellum. I want to hear from you. And until next time, it's the CD guy, Johnny Z, signing off. Take care, everybody.